All right, let's dive right in. Have you ever thought about that thin, kind of fragile line between who you are online and who you are in the real world? We're going to follow the story of one person who found out the hard way that the digital walls she built to keep herself safe, well, they ended up becoming the walls of her own trap.
So this is Maria, and her story really kicks off with this one line, this raw confession from an anonymous online diary. I mean, talk about a fractured identity, right? It just perfectly captures that feeling of being split, torn between who you actually are and the person you feel like you have to be.
Okay, so when we first meet Maria, picture this. She's all alone in a new apartment. She's not just sad, she's haunted. Haunted by her family's past, by all these dark whispers about her father. And you know, this is way more than just grief. It's this heavy burden that she feels like she just can't talk about with anyone. Not in the real world, anyway.
So, what do you do when you feel like that? Well, for Maria, she heads online. She creates this new kind of cryptic identity, existential daughter. And listen, this is so much more than just a username. You know, this is her trying to grab the reins back, to take control of her own story. It's her way of putting a little bit of safe distance between herself and the messy reality she was born into.
And pay attention to how she talks online. It's not straightforward. She uses these short, kind of coded posts, like this one. It's how she gets that deep, profound sense of isolation out of her system. It's almost like poetry that's born from pain, you know? A way to finally speak your truth without really being seen.
So she's looking for a place where she can be completely, brutally honest. And that search leads her to Chembot. It's this secret online forum. Think of it as a place where being anonymous is everything. It's the currency. And being vulnerable, that's actually a form of power there. So for Maria, this feels like it. This is the sanctuary she's been absolutely desperate to find.
And this is where she does it. She puts her absolute deepest, most terrifying fear into words. Just think about that for a second. The sheer vulnerability it takes to type out something you feel is unspeakable and then hit send, launching it into this hidden corner of the internet. You're hoping for a connection, yeah? But man, you're also risking everything.
And then it happens. For the first time, someone actually responds. A message from a user named, get this, Ghost Father. And for Maria, it's this huge moment. She feels seen, she feels understood, but, and this is a big but, as we're about to find out, that connection that feels so good, it's the very thing that's making her dangerously exposed.
Okay, so let's hit pause on that quiet, tense online world for a sec. We're gonna pivot hard. Picture a loud, chaotic, real-world rooftop pool party. I mean, this is a complete 180 in tone, in environment, the whole deal. And for Maria, this is her chance to just be a normal university student for a night.
And for a little while, she isn't existential daughter. She's not the grieving guardian of her family's secrets. She's just Maria. And that playful shove, that's not just a silly moment. It's this brief, beautiful glimpse of her just being. No weight, no secrets. She's actually genuinely having fun.
And you know what? Someone else sees it. Levi. In a quiet moment after all that chaos, he points it out. And her answer is so honest. She admits she just dropped the world for a little bit. It's this quick, real connection. Just the little flicker of what a normal, unburdened life might actually feel like.
Okay, so this is the crucial point. This is where everything starts to turn. She has so carefully built these two separate lives, right? The digital one and the physical one. Well, that separation she's worked so hard to maintain, it's about to get completely, violently shattered.
And this just lays it out so perfectly, the two worlds she's desperately trying to keep from crashing into each other. So you've got her online self over here, totally anonymous, deeply vulnerable, talking in these cryptic little codes. And then you've got her offline self, always being watched, playing this part of the grieving sister, and yeah, for one night, a playful daredevil. The thing is, these two people, they just can't exist in the same space.
So she's sitting there by the pool, right? Still soaking in that little bit of joy. And then her phone buzzes. This message pops up. It's from Chembot. Her digital sanctuary has just reached out and touched her in the real world. And just like that, poof, that happiness is gone. It's instantly replaced by this suffocating, ice-cold paranoia.
All right, let's fast forward to the end of the night. Because this is where the true danger of what's been happening becomes terrifyingly, undeniably clear. This is the moment the digital threat becomes a physical one.
That feeling of being watched, it follows her all the way home. And it's not just in her head anymore. It's not just pixels on her phone screen. It is literally materialized. It's a real physical object. This single ominous envelope just slipped under her door, waiting for her.
So she picks it up, opens it, and her heart just stops. Her absolute worst fear is confirmed. Inside is a photo of her at the party, laughing, captured in that one single moment of pure, carefree joy. It's proof. Someone from Kembud, from her supposed sanctuary, was there, in person, watching her, taking pictures.
And on the back of that photo is the final, chilling nail in the coffin. The anonymity she thought she had, it was a complete illusion. That digital bubble she so carefully built to keep herself safe, it hasn't just popped. It has been violently, deliberately burst.
You know, Maria's story is just such a powerful, stark reminder of how incredibly fragile those walls between our online and offline lives really are. And it really leaves you with a pretty critical question, doesn't it? In a world where those lines are blurring more every single day, what's protecting the bubbles that we all build for ourselves? What protects your bubble?